Good afternoon, I'm Alicia Fireherm with TMN TV News, and welcome to our last show of the semester. Although the semester is coming to a close, we still have reports on local and national news. President Joe Biden officially announced his intentions to run for re-election in 2024. According to NPR, the current Republican frontrunner for presidential candidate is Donald Trump, meaning the 2024 election could be a repeat of 2020. While Biden is confident in his decision to run, many think his age is a problem. Here's a look at Biden's approach to his campaign from CBC News.
The room filled with the kind of energy the Biden team hopes it can maintain. A friendly audience hyping up the president for the launch of a grueling 19-month-long re-election campaign.
Now we just got to keep it going. Finish the job. We just remember who we are. We are the United States of America.
Joe Biden is pitching himself as a leader with a proven track record, but also,
and this is our moment,
as a reasonable alternative to any Republican challenger. His first campaign video highlighting the January 6th attack, labeling Donald Trump and his supporters as MAGA extremists. A contrast the Biden team will rely on, since analysts say it helped in 2020 and in the midterms.
They're going to do what Biden has always said he wanted voters to do. Don't compare him to the almighty, compare him to the alternative. And the Republicans, he hopes, will end up nominating an alternative who's unacceptable.
Trump is the leading Republican contender, setting the stage for a bitter rematch with vicious attack.
You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage Joe Biden has done to our nation in just a few short years.
A fight over Trump could be a helpful distraction for Biden, as voters raise concerns about the president's age and health.
I do believe that he's up to the task, and that is something that we just cannot pretend is not on people's minds.
Voters are mixed on whether Biden's up to the task.
I don't think he needs to run. I think he's way too old.
I'm getting to be close to 50 myself and slowing down a bit, so I can only imagine what it must be like for an older gentleman.
You know, I'm happy he's willing to do this in general. But honestly, I don't know anybody else who's even like up for the task, really.
And Katie, walk us through what the implications might be for Canada.
Biden's speech had the kind of language that sends shivers down spines in Ottawa. He was speaking with union workers and talked about his push for Buy American programs and American labor. This is something that he campaigns on and is very serious about implementing. There are a lot of jobs in Canada that depend on U.S. supply chains, so that is going to be an ongoing, continuing concern. But Prime Minister Justin Trudeau welcomed Biden's re-election announcement, and one does wonder if he would offer the same public message to Donald Trump. Ian.
Okay, Katie, thank you.
Authorities are still looking for a man who shot and killed 5 of his neighbors in their Texas home on Saturday. The victims range in age from 8 to 31 years old. Here is more on the situation from CBC News.
The search is not moving as quickly as police want. And so officers from across the state have been called in, more than 200 of them, going door to door, hoping an $80,000 reward will generate credible leads.
We're asking everyone for your help so we can bring this suspect, or this monster, I will call him, to justice.
38-year-old Francisco Oropeza is considered armed and dangerous. Police dogs tracked his scent into a wooded area until muddy, wet conditions halted that part of the search. Investigators hit another setback after the suspect photo they released to the public for tips was a picture of the wrong person.
Do you all believe that the suspect is still in the area?
We do not know. Like I said, right now we have 0 leads.
The attack happened here late Friday in what apparently started as a noise dispute. Oropeza was firing a gun on his property and was asked by neighbors to be quiet because a baby was sleeping. He allegedly responded by storming the neighbor's home, shooting and killing 5 people, including an 8-year-old boy. The child's father sobbed, telling reporters in Spanish his son and wife are dead. At an emotional vigil, Little comforted mourners in this brutal moment of grief.
my heart is with this 8-year-old little boy.
The victims in this case were members of the Honduran community. They were not all related, but they lived together in that house. The Honduran foreign minister is demanding the full weight of the law be used in this investigation. Local officials want the same, but they have to find the suspect first. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
In state news, the Kansas legislature approved a budget for K-12 schools on Friday. Earlier this year, some public school officials were worried about a bill introduced in the House that would allow tax dollars to be used by families for a private or homeschool education. Legislatures ended up abandoning this bill and instead passed a tax credit expansion for private school scholarships. The bill allows scholarship providers to write off 75% of the scholarships on their taxes and allows private schools not yet accredited to be eligible for the program. The bill also establishes funding for special education. According to the Kansas Reflector, the state is required to cover 92% of special education costs, but they have not met that requirement since 2011. The budget passed on Friday only adjusted special education funding to reflect inflation. The Kansas Reflector also reported on Senate Bill 180, which was previously vetoed by Governor Laura Kelly, but was passed with a 2/3 override vote by both the Senate and the House. The bill bans transgender women from gender-specific bathrooms, locker rooms, crisis centers, and other spaces typically used by women. Supporters of the bill call it a women's Bill of Rights, stating that its purpose is to reduce violence toward women, while those opposed to the bill see it as a way to discriminate against transgender women. Federal funding for domestic violence and sexual assault grants used by crisis centers are governed by guidelines that prohibit gender identity discrimination, which is why Kelly vetoed the bill. Taking a look at the weather for this week, temperatures are steadily increasing. Today is the coldest day of the week with a high of 69, and by Saturday we will reach the warmest day of the week with a high of 86 degrees. Rain showers are expected Thursday and Sunday. As always, to stay up to date with this forecast as it changes, visit kwch.com. After this short break, we'll catch up on sports with Reagan Neufeld.
5, 4, 3.
We know you'll love what you see here on our campus in Hayes, America.
With over 200 academic programs, small classroom sizes, and a 96% success rate, we will make sure you get the tools you need to succeed.
We are proud to offer you 120 clubs and student organizations, over 300 different intramural activities, and countless other ways to get involved here on campus.
As the most affordable four-year institution in the entire state, we are excited to offer you the best value in education anywhere. Not to mention our robust scholarship programs to help minimize that stress of paying for college.
We hope you enjoyed Tiger Nation, and we can't wait for you to see yourself here.
Welcome back. I'm Reagan Neufeld, and we begin today's sports update with the women's golf team, who just finished their season on Wednesday with the MIAA Championships. The Tigers placed 10th as a team. Junior Morgan Brasser led the way, placing 3rd individually. It was her 3rd top 10 performance at the conference tournament for her career, and her first time finishing in the top 5. Prior to the start of the tournament, Brasser was named the MIAA Golfer of the Year and also a unanimous selection to First Team All-Conference for the season. It will be announced later today which golfers advanced to the Central Super Region for postseason play. The track and field teams hosted the Alex Francis Classic here in Hayes on Thursday, resulting in 14 first-place finishes. Both the men's and women's 4x100-meter relay teams placed first. In addition to his efforts on the relay, Xavier Robinson also took home first place in triple and long jump. Maddie Rossi finished on top in multiple events as well, placing first in the 100 and 400-meter hurdles. The rest of the results can be found on the athletic department's website. Up next for the Tigers is the conference championships this Friday through Sunday. The baseball team finished their season this weekend with a 3-game series against the Central Missouri Mules. All 3 games resulted in a loss for the Tigers by final scores of 9-1, 11-6, and 13-11. Central Missouri ended their regular season as MIAA champions. The Tigers missed out on the postseason tournament by a few spots, but overall showed improvement from last year, finishing with a 20-30 overall record and a 10-23 conference record. The softball team also wrapped up their regular season over the weekend. The Tigers went 2-2 in games on Saturday and Sunday, splitting doubleheaders against Rogers State and Northeastern State. Against the Hillcats, Fort Hays lost 6-1 and then won 1-0. Against the Riverhawks, they won 5-4 and then lost 7-1. The Tigers currently have records of 31-22 overall and 13-13 in the MIAA, earning them the number 8 seed in the conference tournament. They travel to Topeka on Wednesday to play the University of Central Oklahoma at 3 p.m. That wraps up our sports update for this week. Results for all of the postseason action can be found on the Fort Hays Athletics and Tiger Media Network social medias. Before we go to a quick commercial break, here's another look at this week's sports schedule.
Tiger Media Network is the student convergent media lab hub for Fort Hays State. We live broadcast all of Fort Hays' home athletic events.
Our program is a hands-on program where we give kids ample opportunity to do anything from writing stories to audio and video projects to sports productions to newscasts. The sky's the limit. We tell the students whatever they can think of or dream of, we'll find a way to try to pull it off to give them that experience.
I am a junior at Fort Hays State University and I'm a photography major. So I've done cameras, I've done tech directing, video board, a little bit of directing. I really enjoy being able to have an eye for that. It's something I've really enjoyed learning about through my 3 years here with photography. To me, photography and even just video and broadcasting kind of go hand in hand.
The future is with the kids, and the new tech gear that we have fits great into our educational model of a great learning environment for the students.
I really like the TriCaster. I like how you can make it as simple as you want, or you can go as complex as you need it to be. You know, you can pretty much do whatever you want with it.
It's a good experience. It teaches you how to work as a team, how to kind of lead things on your own.
Well, we wanted something when it came to giving our students opportunity that was going to be easy to use and applicable in a lot of different scenarios. And that's what we felt like with TriCaster and New Tech really offer. You get a really good experience and it's something you could easily get into.
When we pull off a great production or they provide a great replay angle for a referee in a crucial instant, that makes you proud.
Once you start working with the TriCaster, you can really understand exactly what's going on behind the scenes.
And now it's my favorite thing to do.
When you transfer to Fort Hays State University, you discover unmatched affordability, convenience, and powerfully supportive faculty and staff, all with a determination that matches yours. Complete your degree and leap forward in your life and career with Fort Hays State University Online. The best value in education anywhere.
Student Government Association hosted its second open forum of the year this Wednesday. Students were able to voice their concerns to a panel of representatives from residential life, student engagement, campus police, and health and wellness services. I had the chance to attend the event and learn more. Student Government Association hosted an open forum on Wednesday. Students had the chance to ask questions to the panel and receive answers from representatives from different entities. The panel was comprised of Nathan Dozier from Residential Life, Isaac Wilson from Student Engagement, Campus Police Chief Terry Pierce, and Bob Duffy from Health and Wellness. One issue brought up during the forum was male campus police officers not announcing themselves before entering residential buildings, specifically sorority housing.
Whether an officer's out on foot patrol in a dormitory or an officer's out on patrol on a university, you don't want a set pattern, you don't want to be in the same place, you don't want to be predictable. And as far as the officers checking on the dormitories, I cannot remember with Res Life where we got with that. In order to announce ourselves out, I mean, we're just liable to wake up, a lot of the people in the dorm.
An audience member followed up on that statement, saying that male community assistants are required to announce themselves in the dorm, regardless of the time.
At least on the residential side, that's our policy for our community assistants, but residential life, we work with university police fairly closely, but policies are just different for university officers versus community assistants.
Pierce said he would continue to look into the matter to see if a compromise could be reached. This is the second open forum this school year, and SGA's Legislative Affairs Director Ella Burrows emphasized the impact of these events.
So I think open forums are incredibly important for the students to be actively involved in the change-making process on campus, and it's a really great way to foster civil discourse and give students a voice in speaking to these university leaders that they probably wouldn't otherwise have the chance to meet with.
SGA plans to continue these forums and hopes to attract more students to these discussions. For Tiger Media Network, I'm Alicia Fireherm. For more information, visit tigermedianet.com. Cinco de Mayo is this Friday. This holiday celebrates Mexico's victory over France in the Battle of Puebla in 1862. However, it is more widely celebrated here in the United States by Mexican Americans as a commemoration of their culture and heritage. Here is a look at the holiday's history from the Tribune News Service.
1 Minute History. Cinco de Mayo celebrates Mexico's victory over French forces at the Battle of Puebla. Contrary to popular belief, it has nothing to do with Mexican independence. After losing half of its national territory to the United States during the Mexican-American War, and enduring the Reform War at home, Mexico is bankrupt. President Benito Juárez suspended repayment of foreign debts to address the crisis. France, under Napoleon's leadership, saw this as an opportunity to establish an empire that would favor French interests. On May 5, 1862, French troops attacked the city of Puebla, but they were repelled by the much smaller and poorly equipped Mexican army, led by Ignacio Zaragoza. The Battle of Puebla was a symbolic victory for Mexico, helping to bolster resistance to French occupation. Today, Cinco de Mayo is more widely celebrated in the United States than in Mexico.
Here on campus, Student Engagement and the Hispanic American Leadership Organization are hosting a Cinco de Mayo celebration. The event starts at 6 p.m. on Friday in the Union parking lot. There will be music, games, and food for participants to enjoy. Speaking of food, the Fort Hays Food and Hunger Initiatives and Health and Wellness Services are hosting a end-of-the-year barbecue on Wednesday. From 11 to 1:30, participants can eat burgers and hot dogs, play yard games, and tie-dye shirts. There will also be several giveaways for those who attend. The McMinders Dining Hall is also hosting their usual finals feeding frenzy on Sunday. From 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., they'll be serving breakfast for any Fort Hays students. You do not have to have a meal plan to attend. Lastly, there are a number of graduation ceremonies in the next 2 weekends. Tiger Media Network will be live streaming all of them. First up is the CAMS graduation this Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Union. The NCK Tech graduations begin at 9 a.m. on May 11th in the Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center. University commencements are Friday and Saturday. Ceremonies for the College of Arts, Humanity, and Social Sciences and the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences are on Friday. The Robbins College of Business and Entrepreneurship, Worth College of Science, Technology, and Mathematics, and College of Education are on Saturday. Again, all ceremonies will be live streamed on our YouTube page. And that is a wrap on today's show and a wrap on TMN TV News for the semester. To stay up to date with local, state, and national news, head over to TigerMediaNet.com as well as our social media pages. Thank you for joining us today. Good luck with finals, and we'll see you in the fall.